Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I have a super fun video for you today. I'm sitting down with Kendrick, the CEO of Good Good Golf, to talk all things collaborations. We have some breaking news we're going to cover. We have some questions that I know you guys are wanting to know the answer to regarding some are the band coming back together type collaborations. We're going to get into all of it for you. Hit that subscribe button. Today is your last opportunity to subscribe before I pick the winner of the Good Good hat and polo giveaway. You're going to be able to pick whatever polo and hat combination you want off their website. All you have to do is be subscribed. Don't miss it. A lot of you guys just don't realize you're not subscribed. Scroll down, check, hit that button, be subscribed. I'm gonna pick a winner in the next video. Good Good hat, Good Good polo. Let's get into the conversation with the CEO of Good Good Golf, Kendrick. Matty Kendrick, welcome to the program, buddy. Thanks for coming on. This is the first time you've been on the channel in like this format. We've had you on and like obviously when I've been down in Dallas and in Scottsdale, but first sit down interview. How are you?
Good, man. How about yourself? Thanks for having me.
No, hey, thanks for coming on, man. The spark of today, I want to chat about collaborations. That's kind of my main idea, and it really formed from a big recent announcement. So we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, first off, dude, you guys have seemingly been everywhere all at once, nonstop, all the time, and you're in Dallas right now. So what's going on? Why are you in Dallas?
Well, I've actually not been traveling with the guys as much just because I've had some other scheduling conflicts. So, but everyone is in Dallas right now, I believe, unless somebody's out traveling just for their own personal channel stuff. But, you know, we just got done with, what did we do? We just did so we did the Callaway, they had a Callaway event here actually in Frisco. So we did something for that. And then we went to Palm Springs for like the commercial Callaway, like annual commercial stuff that they do. So for all the new products that are coming, any commercial stuff you'll see, and we're doing some content. We were doing content with some of the pros. So just got back from that. And then where were they? We did the Cabo. Cabo is where the hole-in-one happened.
That's crazy. Yeah. Did you like my outfit? Did you notice, by the way?
Yeah, like that tracer. I mean, I think all we have is size small left. So if anybody has a size, it's good luck.
Yeah.
Fighting over those. And then we just saw the Fortnite video come out. So that came, we were in Destin, Florida for that. And then we got some cool stuff coming. We're going to San Diego next week. And then, sorry, I'm trying to keep up with what we got going on. And then we're going to the Bahamas with Fourplay guys.
Yeah.
So they announced that. I actually didn't see it. You texted me and I was like, how do you know that we're doing this? And you're like, oh, they put it on they put on a podcast or something? Is that where they put it?
Yeah. It was actually, it's a funny story for you guys who didn't see. It was, I like texted Matt like right away. I heard it and I was like, hey man, like this is finally happening. This is so cool. He's like, how do you know about this? And I'm like, I just replied with, I know everything. It's actually insane, dude. The amount of stuff that gets sent to me that like isn't public knowledge now. Just everyone is like sending me stuff all the time. But no, so that was the spark of this, was for the Fourplay collaboration, just talking collaborations in general. But let's start there. That's one that personally I've wanted to see forever, because I very much started in the Barstool universe. Fourplay was kind of my first introduction to golf content because I was already in that universe when I started playing golf. So to me, this was like, it's so cool and so exciting. So how did this come to be and why now? What's the decision factors behind making this collaboration happen?
So Riggs and I got connected. I'd have to go back. Riggs and I have been connected for well over a year at this point. It's like we'll just text back and forth. Always talk, like we just had like stayed in touch. We're both in the same space. I think really probably even earlier days of Good Good, we talked about maybe possibly doing like some product collaboration or something. But I don't know. I mean, I've always just had a good relationship with Riggs, and we've always tried to do something together. It's never like it's just weird because like schedules never line up. Obviously, they're busy, we're busy. And then it was a few months ago whenever I think Frankie was like live streaming like 2K
the hole-in-one. Yep.
Okay, and then I think a couple of our guys, I think it was Max and Colin, got on and were like donating and trash talking a little bit, like getting it going.
Yeah.
And then me and Riggs just we were texting about it, and he was like, let's just figure this out. I was like, all right. And he was like, let's go to the Bahamas. Like that actually lines up, because like we were actually talking about going somewhere kind of like that for December, just for weather purposes and getting into some nicer weather. So I was like, we're actually talking about going somewhere in that area, and like let's just do it together. And he set it up. Then I mean, I'll give Fourplay credit. Like they help facilitate it and make it work. And looking forward to being there. So should be a good time.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what comes out of it because you guys kind of, I would say like you and Shields probably hold the highest production levels in YouTube golf in terms of like classical YouTube golf. But Fourplay, like they have the entire Barstool umbrella underneath them. And like when you see them or when you see Spitting Chicklets going film sandbaggers, they have like 18 carts. They have like 27 cameramen. Like it's just, it really is like this over the top boom mic style production. Like it really is different. So I'm interested to see that. And maybe you guys are able to share ideas back and forth. And I know they're really looking to get into the YouTube golf scene. I actually have an interview coming up with Frankie, a little teaser, but and we're talking all about them trying to get into the YouTube golf scene. So I think it would be really cool for you guys to be able to impart some of your obviously experience and knowledge onto them in that, because I think they're interesting. I think their value prop's great. But how do you see the two groups coming together? Because I know part of the issue in the past when the conversation came up was like you guys are just gonna wipe the floor with them. You could deal Garrett against all four of them and Garrett would just beat them. You don't even need the other like six guys. So how are you gonna make interesting videos, do you think?
Well, so I actually missed the phone call on the content side because I was on flight. I think I was going to like New York or something. So, but from what I understand, like what I understand is we definitely are not just like it's good versus Fourplay. That's not a good way to line it up. So I think I think we're definitely do some type of like mixed teams, and then I think there's talk of doing a major. So we might be a major down there in the Bahamas with them. So obviously you're gonna see stuff on Fourplay's channel and ours as well. So I think our teams are trying to figure out like what goes where right now. I don't know if everything's like fully planned yet. So I don't want to speak anything that is not out there yet for sure.
For sure.
But I definitely know that we will mix teams for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I think the intrinsic interest between your guys' golf level and the comedy you guys have, but then Fourplay is just different. Like that raw kind of like locker room style comedy. I'm very interested to see how you guys blend on that. But I think they represent a good question that I wanted to ask you, which is like, how do you guys go about not getting collaborations, but deciding on them, I guess. Like, whether a collaboration's worthwhile, what makes a collaboration worthwhile? What are kind of your like yeses and nos when deciding who to and when to collaborate with certain other brands?
I would say that it's not that in depth. I would like, obviously us doing stuff with like Tim the Tap Man, Kane Brown, and Cloaksy, like that's just such a absolute yes, because it gets, both sides are getting things outside of their normal community. And for us, that's like, I think that's probably the preference, is like we'd rather do things outside of just YouTube golf because everyone gets to see the YouTube golf space all the time. So it's like anytime we can do something outside of YouTube golf, or even outside of pro golfers, I think that's a huge win for us, just because it gets YouTube golf in a different audience. So if we can help bring people into YouTube golf and it helps YouTube golf, I think that's a huge win. Inside of YouTube golf, I mean, we're not closed off to any opportunities. Rick has been more than gracious 2 years in a row to help us in the UK, and we'll definitely keep going back and doing that. But I mean, anybody that wants to come knock on the door and say, let's do something together that is compelling. I think Fourplay made a compelling. Well, the conversation I've been going with Riggs for a long time. So it's like, let's just finally, it just came down to let's just figure this out. So I mean, we're not closed off to anything. It's just, does it line up with our schedule? Does it make sense for us? Do we feel like that it's going to be the best content we can put out for this time period? Then let's do it. But I will say, like, we definitely look for more non-YouTube golf opportunities. Just those do seem like the most appealing right now for us.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I'd be remiss not to ask then about door knocking opportunities and internet breaking opportunities. Are we ever going to see a reunion episode, a like 10-year later reunion episode of the OG crew come back together, either Grant or Micah coming back into? Is that something you guys have talked about or teased about? Because we know that would break the internet.
I don't know. I mean, I would say like no one's come knocking on our door asking for it. So
yeah.
maybe one day with the VH1 Where Are They Now episode. That's probably dated. That's probably too old for this audience that's
Yeah,
watching.
yeah,
Maybe a 30 for 30 one day. Who knows? We all get
yeah.
together, but I would say, like, as of right now, I mean, nobody's asking for coming to us I would say no one's coming to us in the YouTube golf space asking for collaborations. And I don't know. I
Okay.
mean, maybe we need to start. We need to be the ones that ask for it.
So that kind of bridges me into my next question then, because the ultimate YouTube golf collaboration, which we've talked about before, and Rick has mentioned you guys are now working hand in hand, and publicly he's talked about it on his podcast with the whatever you're going to call it, some big YouTube event. What, if anything, can you share from your guys' perspective on that, and like what that could do in terms of collaboration for the YouTube golf space leading into the future, growing the space, future events, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so I think that with Rick, I mean, we had this conversation together back the first time we came to the UK about, like, let's figure out how to do like a YouTube Ryder Cup or something like that this year in 23. So, then whenever all the news was coming out about events and all this stuff, and like we're saying we're not going because we just didn't know about it at the time, and then we also were planning this thing that we had been talking about for a while. So finally, Rick and I get together, we start discussing, and I said, honestly, this is going to be more beneficial if we just do it together. And we have infrastructure to help. He's got infrastructure to help. This is a big undertaking. And so everyone hearing Rick say that, this was bigger than he thought, like it is. It's bigger than everyone thinks and realizes. Like, can we just go put together a YouTube golf tournament and tell people to show up, and we film it and then we release it at some point? Absolutely. That's the easy step. Can we go put a multi-day tournament together that fans come to, that we live stream and all these things, and make it like a really cool opportunity and show the golf world what the YouTube golf community can do? That's a whole nother undertaking that people just don't realize. Like, it's not easy. Like, I get it. You watch a TGA golf tournament every single week, and it just happens for you. It shows up on your TV, but you don't realize that it's costing millions of dollars to put that on every single week. So, I'm having a lot of conversations with different streaming partners and how to finance this thing. And Rick and his team are as well. So, like, I will say that we're both working towards it. We both want it to happen. We both have the same goals. This is not a money. Everyone thinks that, it's all about money. It's like, listen, this is not a money makeup. No one's going to make a dime. If anything, people are going to lose money to make this happen. So we learned that from the Good Championship. Like, we didn't make money from that. Like, we lost money, but we learned a lot. I think we bring a lot to the table with Rick and anybody else that wants to work with us, to say we understand how a golf tournament's going to do on camera. We saw what the hurdles could be for live streaming, and there's a reason we didn't live stream it for the Good Championship, because we just didn't have the infrastructure. So it's a huge undertaking to do it right. And I think that if we're going to come out the gate and we're going to show the world what YouTube golf can do, like, we want it to be right. And that is what it is. And things like this take time. And we don't just have millions and millions of dollars to go throw at this stuff. So we got to go get creative of who are the partners and who can help us, and what will YouTube do with us. I will say that Good's going to California here in a few weeks to go meet with YouTube and have some discussions around live streaming. So we're doing everything we can. I'm sorry it doesn't happen overnight, but it is what it is. Like, we will get there though.
Yeah, I think everyone understands that, and the hurdles are definitely there. And I think, this is my perspective, so I'm interested to hear yours, but I feel like if this first one can happen, whether it's just a break-even type situation, you just manage to get it out, but you do it right, obviously. You put in the steps to make this thing, an entertaining show and good quality. Do you think then that does two things? Number one, it sets it up to be infinitely easier the second and third and fourth time as you go, because you have the infrastructure, you figured out how to do it. But then also, do you think this can be something that one day is a profitable venture like the PGA Tour, where you have these YouTube golf events on a reoccurring basis that are, the same level as a, any other tour, maybe not the PGA Tour, but any other, international tour?
Well, I would say I don't think that the PGA Tour is a profitable organization. So that's probably a misconception there. I mean, technically, I think they're supposed to be a nonprofit organization.
Oh, gotcha. I see what you're saying.
So I would say that but they are funding purses and uh, they've got the elevated events now that they've got to figure out. So the money's got to come in from somewhere. Do I see this as like a long-term profitable operation? No, I don't.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, unless you're just talking that somebody wants to come and like throw a lot of money to get their name on it, and we are able to do it within constraints of what dollars we know have coming in. But then at the end of the day, it's like when it's this big of a collaboration, and it's going to be more than just us and Rick too. It's like obviously if we want to get other people there, it's there's a lot of travel. There's a lot of our goal is that and Rick was the one that really put it out there, was like, we don't want anyone to have to pay that's in the YouTube space to show up to this event. Like, how do we make it to where we're helping make sure that their travel's covered or their hotels are covered or whatever it may be. So like, we want this to be a mutually beneficial thing to all parties. And yes, are we the two that have stepped up and say we'll lead it? Yeah, I think that we are probably the best situated to help do that. I mean, probably be a good conversation with Barstool as well. I mean, I know that they can probably help, and we haven't really talked to them about it. Maybe we use that in the Bahamas and discuss it, but it's a massively collaborative effort, and so even if there is profit in it, it's like, then what do you do with it? Like, what do you do with it? You've got everybody that's involved, so I don't even know if it's worth it being a thing that makes money. I think it's like, let's do this for the fans type of thing.
Fair, yeah. Let's circle it back, because that's the largest scale version of a collaboration. But I've always kind of wondered this myself, is like, what stops you guys from just staying in Dallas, filming your videos in Dallas, not traveling, not having these crazy schedules, and like producing your content just at the courses around you? What really sparked you guys to start moving out and traveling out? Was it collaborations? Is it just to change up the courses? Like, what constitutes the need for the travel with all you guys?
Well, one is weather. I mean, Dallas is not year-round great weather. Two, we don't have like a good golf course partner in Dallas. I mean, I will say, which is so funny to say, we live in Dallas, and it's probably the hardest place for us to play golf, which is so funny. No one's taken us in and been like, this is Good's home, even though I know everyone sees us play at General Creek. Well, the way that works is like, there's some people here within Good that have memberships at General Creek, and we pay for every single round that everyone plays out there. So we don't have anybody that's like, just come on and play. I mean, luckily we've got a great relationship with Troon Golf, specifically through Good. So most of the places that you see us traveling and doing things, it's at the Troon Golf Course, and like, they've been extremely helpful. And that's how we did the Good Championship. They connected us with Kierland. A lot of the stops that you saw on the road trip that we did was through Troon Golf Courses. And in fact, San Diego that we're going to next week, that's all Troon Golf Courses. So we've been really grateful for like those kind of relationships. I think that travel for us, it's more than just weather too. It's like, it's change of scenery. I think we feel that people definitely want to see us come play golf courses in their parts of the world. It gives a lot of variety to the channel, and some of it is collaboration. It's like, oh, we go to San Diego. It's like, who's there? Dr. Disrespect. I don't think, I say this name, but he's, we're not gonna. I don't think we don't have any plans to do anything with him in San Diego. But it's opportunities like that. It's, where did we go? That we traveled to Destin, Florida, to do the Fortnite deal, and that's where Tim and Cloaksy are. So it made it easier to make that happen. So we traveled to Ricky Fowler when we did the Ricky Fowler deal. It's like, let's get on a plane, let's go shoot with Ricky, to make it easier. So I think we've gotten used to the travel. It's not even if we lived in Florida, we'd still travel. We'd still go places, and we still want to go see other golf courses. We don't want to show the same golf course over and over again. And so it doesn't matter where we live, we're going to travel. It is what it is with the golf space. And and we probably need to travel more internationally. Like we definitely done the UK, and we're going to keep doing the UK because we have such large viewership there. I think we need to go hit Australia. I would love to go get into Asia as well, and in South Korea or Japan or something like that to go show that off. So travel is just, it's always going to be a part of what we do. We all want to go see different parts of the world too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Canada's pretty nice too, you know.
Yeah, we haven't done anything in Canada, so
yeah.
we gotta go figure that one out.
Yeah, I live in like the nicest part
too. It's a short like playing window though, right? Like how many months do you play here?
Well, you can, you know, if you want to talk like the best possible playing, then I would say like, you know, 6 months probably most places. But I mean, where I live, you can play all year round. But I would highly recommend coming in like the summer for sure. It definitely would be more fun at that time of year. But all right, well, I appreciate you coming on, man. I don't want to take too much more of your time. Let me just ask you, what, if anything, can you share coming up? Any exciting, whether it be collaborations or just kind of, you know, new momentums for Good, whether it's the brand or the channel? What do you guys got going on that's new and exciting?
That's a good question. I mean, we kind of talked about it. We've got San Diego coming. We're always excited about going out there. And then the big thing is with Fourplay. I think that in January we've got some things locked in that'll be pretty cool. We're working with we've got, I think, a pretty exciting pro that I think we're going to do a lot of videos with in January. That'll be fun. And then next year, to be honest, we haven't had time to sit down and go, what are we going to do for next year? Mm-hmm. I would say January's planned. I kind of know I know what we're doing for February. We'll be in the Scottsdale area. We're doing some fun stuff around waste management. And then after that, like, you know, we've got some things that we kind of know, but we don't have a solid plan yet. So sorry, I don't have a whole lot to divulge, gentlemen. We do have the next four months or so mapped out.
Oh, it's great, man. Cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you for taking the time. And I definitely think that people are going to be interested in hearing, because I talk about collaborations all the time. When they come up, we talk about them, we get excited about them, but it's kind of cool to hear a bit more behind the scenes about, you know, how and why and all that kind of stuff. So appreciate it.
Cool, man. Thanks for having me.
Sick.